Now the question number two asks about working population in Russia different from other countries in Europe before 1917. So how was Russian population was different from other countries in Europe in year 1917? So it is basically the answers talks about the distinguishing characteristics of Russian workers than the other countries in Europe. So 85% of the livelihood comes from the agriculture. In France and Germany, proportion was only when it comes to the agriculture in France and Germany, only 40 to 50% of the population were deriving their livelihood from agriculture, whereas in Russia it is 85%. Industrialization started late in Russia, and it is mainly focused in St. Petersburg and Moscow area. Russian peasants had no respect for nobles, whereas in France's society, nobles and clergy were respected by the peasants, that is the third sections of the society. Then Russian peasants were violent, unlike the other parts of Europe, and Russian peasants pooled their land. That means they believe in the commune system, they pooled their land together and do the farming collectively. Next question asks about why did the Tsarist autocracy collapse in 1917? What were the main points that had weakened the empire, Tsar empire power in Russia in 1917? So the first thing is Tsar Nicholas II was an inefficient ruler. He never cares about his subjects' misery, what they were facing, the problems, all problems. He never cared about those things. Another important advisor named Rasputin, he made the autocracy unpopular through his ideas, through his knowledge spreading ways, sources. He made the autocracy unpopular. He spread the ideas that autocracy is not needed. Bureaucracy. Here that it talks about how the recruitment used to take place. The year recruitment takes place by giving the privileges to the noble and clergy people. And the Russia's participation in the First World War, as Russia participated in the First World War, the result was disaster because as the war continued, the Tsar refused to listen to the parties in their parliament, the parliament called Duma. The Duma leaders were totally neglected by Tsar. Therefore, the support for Tsar was thin. They stopped supporting him, and lastly, Russia lost in the Germany and Austria war that happened between 1914 and 1916. First World War started in 1914. As the First World War started, Tsar stopped listening to its Duma leaders, the parliamentary cabinet members, and it lost in war between these 2 years, and results in millions of people died and millions of losses, monetary losses, financial losses, and social losses happened in Russia. All these results into the fall of autocracy in Russia.